What if the chaos in your life isn't outside you, but inside your own mind? When fear clouds your thoughts and the future feels heavy, it's not the world pulling you down. It's the stories your mind keeps telling. But what if there was a way to quiet the noise? Not by fixing everything out there, but by finding stillness right here. In this video, we'll explore timeless Buddhist teachings that help you calm the mind, release anxiety, and reconnect with the peace that's always lived within you. So take a deep breath and begin the journey back to your inner stillness. Lesson 1. Your thoughts aren't always honest. One of the most liberating teachings in Buddhism is this: your mind doesn't always tell the truth. In fact, the Buddha compared the mind to a restless monkey, constantly leaping, constantly chattering, creating stories built not on truth, but on fear, memory, and insecurity. When life gets tough, those thoughts get louder. You're not strong enough. Everything's going wrong. You'll never get through this. Sound familiar? But here's the key. Just because a thought appears doesn't mean it's real. Most of our thoughts are habits, mental loops formed over time, often echoing old wounds and past fears. Buddhism doesn't ask you to fight those thoughts. Instead, it invites you to observe them, to create space, to become a witness instead of a believer. Picture your thoughts like clouds drifting across the sky. Some are heavy, some are light, but none of them are permanent, and none of them are you. You, your awareness, are the sky itself, calm, vast, untouched by whatever floats through it. So when fear whispers in your ear or doubt knocks on the door, practice saying gently, "That's just a thought." Watch it come, watch it go, and don't let it define you. This is the essence of mindfulness. It's not about controlling the river. It's about learning not to drown in it. The more you return to this still, observing presence, the more peace you uncover. And in time, that quiet strength inside you becomes unshakable, no longer stirred by every wave of fear. 2. Return to now, not what might happen next. Anxiety is a master illusionist. It doesn't come from what is, it comes from what might be. The mind races ahead, painting shadowy pictures of things that haven't happened: failure, rejection, loss. You find yourself trapped in what ifs. What if I lose everything? What if they leave me? What if I can't handle it? But notice this: none of those fears live in the reality of this moment. They live in the imagined future, a future that hasn't arrived, a future that may never arrive. Buddhism teaches that suffering often arises not from what is happening, but from our mental resistance to what might happen. The more we drift away from the present, the more tangled we become in stories that don't serve us. But here's a truth both simple and powerful: the future doesn't exist yet. The only thing you can touch, breathe, feel, and act in is now. Right here, right now, in this breath, is the only place where real peace lives. When you return to this moment, even briefly, you'll find that the weight of worry begins to lift. Your heartbeat steadies. Your breath deepens. The storm in your mind softens into stillness. It's like walking out of a noisy crowd and into a quiet room. Suddenly, you can hear yourself again. Try this. When your thoughts begin to spiral into the unknown, gently ask yourself, where am I right now? Not in the chaos of tomorrow, not in the regrets of yesterday, but here, in your breath, in your body, in your life. Even if things are imperfect, ask, am I okay in this moment? And if the answer is yes, then rest in that. If the answer is no, then begin here. Don't try to fix the entire future. Just breathe. Just sit. Just return. Buddhist monks have practiced this simple truth for centuries. Through mindful walking, through quiet breath, through presence in the tiniest actions. Sipping tea, sweeping the floor, feeling the wind, they anchor themselves in now. Because here's the secret: all your strength, your clarity, your resilience, it lives in the now. never in the future, never in fear. So the next time anxiety pulls you away, don't fight the future. Simply come back. Come back to the breath. Come back to your body. Come back to the only place you've ever truly been, this moment. And in that moment, peace is not just possible, it becomes yours. 3. You may not control the storm, but you can steady yourself. Let's be honest, we all crave control. We want life to go according to plan. We want people to behave a certain way. We want certainty like we want oxygen. But life rarely obeys. It surprises us. It disappoints us. It shakes our foundation. And the more we try to force it into shape, the more it slips through our fingers like sand. Think of the last time life didn't go your way. A relationship fell apart. A job disappeared. A health scare came out of nowhere. Maybe you asked yourself, why can't I stop this? Why is this happening? That's the illusion of control breaking down. That's reality reminding us that not everything is in our hands. But Buddhism offers a beautiful alternative. Instead of trying to control the storm, focus on steadying yourself within it. There's something deeply powerful in this shift. When the winds blow and the rains fall, you stop chasing after the clouds. Instead, you plant your feet. You root yourself. You become the stillness in the center of the chaos. How? By turning inward to the things you can control. Your breath, your response, your compassion, your awareness. These are not small things. They are everything. Because when you can stay grounded while everything else moves, you become unshakable. Think of the great mountains. Storms rage around them, but they do not chase the wind. They remain still. They endure. You too can cultivate that kind of strength, not by resisting change, but by learning to flow with it. Buddhism calls this equanimity, a mind that remains balanced, regardless of gain or loss, praise or blame, joy or sorrow. This doesn't mean you become passive. It means you stop clinging to what you can't control and start mastering how you respond to it. That's true power. So when someone disappoints you, instead of reacting with anger, pause, breathe, choose compassion. When your plans fall apart, instead of spiraling, realign, refocus, return to what you can do right now. When fear arises, don't run, sit with it. Ask what it's trying to teach you. Let it pass like a wave, not define you like a cage. Remember this, the world may shake around you, but you do not have to shake with it. When everything feels uncertain, repeat this to yourself. I may not control the storm, but I can choose how I walk through it. And that choice, again and again, is the birth of peace. Not the peace that comes when everything is perfect, but the peace that survives even when it's not. 4. Even your darkest days were part of your becoming. It's natural to look back on the hardest seasons of your life with a sense of regret or sadness, to wish they had never happened. Those days when everything seemed to fall apart, when you felt completely alone, heartbroken, defeated, or lost. You may have wondered if you'd ever recover, or questioned why life was so unfair. But from the Buddhist perspective, those moments, as painful as they were not wasted. They were sacred in their own way, because they helped shape the person you've become. Buddhism doesn't ask you to glorify pain, but it invites you to see it clearly. As a teacher, a sculptor of the soul. Think of a seed buried in deep, heavy soil. In the darkness, it feels the weight of the earth pressing down on it. It cracks, it struggles, and yet, that pressure, that resistance, is what gives it the energy to break open and grow toward the sun. Without the weight of the soil, there would be no sprouting. Without the struggle, there would be no transformation. Your worst days worked in the same way. The moments you felt buried were the very moments you were growing. That heartbreak that shattered you, it taught you empathy. That failure that made you feel like you weren't enough, It taught you humility, that loss that tore through your heart. It taught you the depth of love and the fragility of all things. Pain doesn't only wound, it awakens. It calls you to look within, to ask deeper questions, and to find resilience in places you didn't even know existed. When you felt like giving up, but didn't, you discovered your inner strength. When you sat with your sorrow instead of running from it, you began to understand yourself on a more honest level. That's where healing begins. Not in resistance, but in presence. In allowing yourself to feel, to sit with what hurts, and to learn from it rather than escape it. Buddhism calls this alchemy of experience turning poison into medicine. It's the ability to take what was meant to break you and transform it into insight, into compassion, into peace. Just like a lotus that rises from the mud, your spirit rises through the pain. And as it does, you become more human, more open-hearted, more wise. Those hard times taught you more than comfort ever could. They taught you that control is an illusion, that life moves according to its own rhythm. They taught you to be gentle, both with yourself and with others. They taught you that time doesn't always heal everything, but presence, acceptance, and patience often do. And perhaps most beautifully, those darkest moments taught you gratitude. Because after you've known emptiness, even the smallest joy feels radiant. After you've walked through a long night, the morning light doesn't just appear, it blesses you. So when you look back, don't see only the pain. See the growth. See the lessons. See the version of you that emerged, wiser, softer, stronger. Because in Buddhism, suffering isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of awakening. And often, it's in the moments you thought were your undoing that life was quietly building you, piece by piece, into someone unshakable. 5. Not everything deserves a reaction. Life is filled with moments that provoke us. An unexpected insult, a frustrating delay, a moment of self-doubt, or a harsh inner voice reminding us of past failures. Our instinct is to react immediately, to defend, to fix, to lash out, or to escape. It's how the mind tries to regain control when something unsettling appears. But Buddhism gently reminds us, not everything deserves a reaction, because every time you react without awareness, you pay a price, not with money, but with your peace, your clarity, and your inner balance. Think of your mind as a still, clear lake. When undisturbed, it reflects everything with precision and calm. But throw in a single pebble, a harsh word, a rude gesture, a moment of worry, and ripples appear. If you allow every little stone thrown your way to stir your waters, the lake becomes chaotic. You lose sight of what's beneath the surface. But if you cultivate inner stillness, the ripples eventually fade on their own. You begin to understand that most things in life are just passing disturbances, impermanent, insubstantial, and often not worth your emotional energy. Buddhist wisdom urges you to recognize this. Reacting to every trigger only scatters your energy and strengthens the grip of ego and fear. A reactive life is a restless life. If you respond to every opinion, every judgment, every inconvenience, you end up living like a puppet, your strings pulled by the moods of others, the news cycle, or the loud chatter of your own inner critic. Choosing not to react doesn't mean becoming indifferent. It means becoming wise. It means pausing before you speak, observing before you act, listening within before you respond outwardly. That pause, however small, is powerful. In that pause, you become free. Free from habit, free from emotional reflex, free to choose peace over pride, patience over pressure, clarity over chaos. Let's say someone insults you unexpectedly. Your instinct may be to strike back, to prove your worth, to restore your dignity. But what if instead you took a breath, felt the surge of heat inside your chest, and chose to observe it without responding? You might realize the insult was more a reflection of their own suffering than a statement about your value. By stepping back, you keep your peace. You rise above the drama without needing to dominate it. The same is true for small daily frustrations. The traffic jam that tests your patience, the long queue at the store, the broken appliance, the delayed email reply. These things often trigger frustration, not because they're serious, but because we believe we must react. But ask yourself, will anger fix the traffic? Will anxiety make the email arrive faster? Or will these reactions simply stir the waters of your mind, keeping you agitated long after the moment has passed? And then there's the subtlest, most dangerous trigger of all, the voice inside you. The one that says, you're not doing enough, not good enough, not worthy. This inner critic thrives on reaction. It feeds on your willingness to believe it. Buddhism encourages you to treat this voice like a passing stranger. Acknowledge it, but don't invite it in. Don't react to it. Don't argue or obey. Just notice it and let it pass like a cloud drifting through an open sky. You are not every thought you think. You are the awareness behind those thoughts. The more you practice this, the more you understand that silence can be a powerful response, that walking away is sometimes stronger than confronting. That serenity is not weakness, it's a choice, a discipline, a form of inner mastery, and it begins with mindfulness. Start small. When something irritates you today, pause. Place your hand over your heart. Take a slow, deep breath. Whisper to yourself, this does not need my reaction. My peace is more valuable. In that moment, you reclaim your power, not the power to control others, but the power to govern yourself. Over time, this practice changes everything. Your mind becomes less reactive. Your heart becomes lighter. You begin to feel less like a flame easily blown by the wind, and more like a mountain, still, steady, unmoved. Challenges still come, but they no longer shake your core. People may criticize you, plans may change, but your center holds firm. Because ultimately, Buddhism teaches that peace is not found in controlling the world, but in mastering the art of non-reaction. The storms of life will come and go, but if you refuse to be pulled into everyone, you begin to see them for what they are, passing clouds in a vast and open sky. And when you stop giving your energy to everything that doesn't deserve it, you begin to experience the quiet power of peace. A peace that doesn't need to prove itself, doesn't need to defend itself, because it is rooted not in the ever-changing world, but in the stillness of your own awakened heart. 6. Reframe the problem as a path. There are moments in life when the weight of a problem feels unbearable, a failure, a loss, a betrayal. In those moments, it feels like the world has closed in around you, leaving no room to breathe, let alone move forward. Naturally, the mind cries out, "Why is this happening to me?" It resists, it fights, it wants out. But Buddhism offers a quiet, powerful shift in perspective, a way of seeing not the end, but a beginning. What if the problem you're facing isn't a punishment or a trap, but a teacher? Imagine this. You're walking up a mountain trail. The sky is clear, your steps steady. Then suddenly, the path disappears beneath a landslide. Dust rises, everything halts. You could turn around, defeated. Or you could pause, breathe, and look for another way up. Perhaps the detour takes you through unfamiliar terrain, steeper, rockier, slower. But as you climb, you find hidden wildflowers, a new view, a strength you didn't know you had. The obstacle didn't stop your journey, it deepened it. This is the Buddhist practice of turning obstacles into opportunity. It's not a trick of denial or toxic positivity. It's a profound shift in how you relate to life's difficulties. We are conditioned to see problems as enemies, something to be solved, fixed, or erased. But Buddhism teaches that problems are not external intruders. They are mirrors. They reflect our attachments, fears, and assumptions. When a relationship ends, it hurts because we were attached to permanence. When we fail at something, the sting often comes not from the event itself, but from the story we tell ourselves. I'm not enough. I'll never succeed. That's where the real suffering lies. But what if you asked a different question? Not, why is this happening to me? But, what is this here to show me? That shift, that one gentle reframe, can change everything. Let's say you're struggling financially. Your instinct is to panic or despair. But pause, reflect. Could this be teaching you resourcefulness, helping you shed unnecessary wants, reconnecting you to what really matters? Or perhaps you've been rejected by a job, a person, a group. Instead of seeing it as a dead end, ask, could this be redirecting me to something better aligned with my purpose? Maybe it's clearing the space for growth, one you never would have chosen for yourself. In Buddhist tradition, the lotus is a powerful symbol. It blooms in muddy water, not in spite of the mud, but because of it. The mud nourishes it. The darkness gives it contrast. The pain is part of the path. When you reframe your pain as a guide instead of a punishment, you stop fighting reality. And in that surrender, not of weakness, but of wisdom, you begin to see new ways forward. This isn't to say that pain disappears. No, it may still ache. But instead of running from it, you sit beside it. You listen. You learn. The Buddha himself faced immense suffering, not just personal sorrow, but the collective suffering of humanity. His response wasn't to escape the world, but to understand it. Through quiet observation, deep reflection, and mindful awareness, he came to see that suffering was not the end of the road. It was the very soil in which awakening could grow. So when life hits hard, ask yourself, is there something in this I have yet to learn? It might be patience, humility, resilience, or the simple truth that not everything is within your control, and that's okay. The mind likes certainty. It craves smooth paths and predictable outcomes. But the soul grows in the wild places. It matures in the fires of challenge. And when you reframe your struggle as part of the journey, you stop seeing life as a series of problems and start seeing it as a continuous unfolding, a sacred process of becoming. Every crisis, every heartbreak, every disappointment, it's all part of a greater transformation. And when you embrace that, truly embrace it, you become unshakable. You stop fearing the storms because you've learned to dance in the rain. So the next time worry tightens its grip around your heart, remember, the problem is not blocking your path. It is your path. Walk it with courage, walk it with curiosity, and trust that on the other side, something deeper is waiting to be revealed. 7. Faith is the antidote to fear. Fear thrives in the unknown. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a dark forest. The trees are thick, the path is unclear, and silence surrounds you like a wall. You don't know what lies ahead, maybe danger, maybe safety. Your imagination races, your breath quickens, you freeze. That moment, that trembling uncertainty, is where most people stop. But Buddhism offers something quietly powerful: faith. Not faith as blind belief or forced positivity, but faith as inner confidence born from lived experience. In Pali, this is called saddha, a trust that comes not from wishful thinking, but from something far more grounded. In Buddhism, faith is not a command to ignore fear. It's a gentle invitation to walk with fear, to walk through it, and to trust that what lies beyond is worth discovering. Think of fear as a fog. It makes everything look distorted. It tells you that you're not enough, that the world is unsafe, that failure is inevitable. But faith is the sunlight, subtle at first, but persistent. It starts to burn through the fog, revealing the truth. You've been here before, and you survived. And not just survived, you grew. Every time you've fallen and stood back up, every heartbreak you've healed from, every uncertain step you've taken and still kept going, those are the seeds of your faith. You just might not have named them that way before. Faith is remembering that you've been tested and found your strength. It's not about controlling outcomes. It's about trusting the process. It's saying, I don't know how this will end, but I will keep walking. One of the deepest causes of fear is the mind's obsession with predicting the future. It spins endless stories, What if I lose everything? What if I'm not good enough? What if it all goes wrong? But Buddhism teaches that these are just thoughts, not reality. The mind creates horror stories like a movie director desperate for drama. Faith interrupts that mental movie and says, pause, breathe, let's come back to the present. Right now, can you take one breath? Can you take one step? That's all you need. You see, Buddhism doesn't ask you to fight fear with aggression. It doesn't ask you to suppress it or deny it. Instead, it asks you to face it with awareness, and more importantly, with compassion. Because fear isn't the enemy, it's a messenger. It says, you care about something. Maybe it's your health, your future, your loved ones. That's not weakness, that's humanity. But faith helps you respond to that care with courage instead of collapse. There's a famous Buddhist teaching, this too shall pass. Everything, joy and sorrow, love and loss, is impermanent. The worst days don't last forever. Storms come and storms go. And this understanding, anicca, impermanence, is one of the great roots of Buddhist faith. It reminds us that whatever fear you feel today is already on its way out. All you need to do is breathe through it, moment by moment. And here's something beautiful. You don't have to walk the path alone. The Buddha encouraged people to seek refuge not just in his teachings, but in the Sangha, the community. Sometimes your faith will feel weak. That's okay. Borrow strength from others. Listen to those who have gone before you. Maybe it's a story of a monk who remained calm through adversity. Or someone like you, an ordinary person, who turned pain into purpose. Their stories are not just inspiration. They are proof that faith works. Let their strength remind you of your own. Also, remember, faith is action. It's not just a feeling you wait for. It's something you practice. When you feel fear rise, don't wait for faith to fall from the sky. Take a step. Meditate. Breathe deeply. Reach out. Speak kindly. These small actions build a kind of muscle memory. Each choice you make to respond with presence over panic builds your spiritual strength. With time, something amazing happens. Fear doesn't vanish, but it loses its control over you. You hear it, but you no longer obey it. You see it, but you don't let it lead. Instead of running from fear, you ask, what is this here to teach me? And often, what it teaches is profound. Maybe your fear reveals a deep longing to be seen, to be safe, to live with purpose. And once you understand that, you can work with it. You can transform fear from a wall into a doorway. Buddhism doesn't promise a life without hardship, but it offers something even more powerful, a way to meet hardship with open eyes and an open heart. When faith is your compass, you move forward, not because the path is clear, but because you trust yourself to walk it. So, the next time you're trembling at the edge of something unknown, pause, breathe, remember who you are, remember where you've been, and remind yourself of this truth. Faith isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to keep walking with fear beside you, knowing you are never truly alone. And that is how fear loses its grip, and faith leads the way. Bonus lesson: be your own guiding light. In moments of confusion, we often look outward, for signs, for answers, for someone to tell us what to do. But the final and most powerful teaching of the Buddha is this: Apadipo bhava. Be a light unto yourself. This isn't just a poetic line, it's a call to personal power. There will be times when the world feels dark, when your path isn't clear, when friends can't help, and even your faith feels quiet. It is in those moments that you must remember, you carry your own flame. Too often, we wait. We wait for permission. We wait for the perfect time. We wait for someone to save us. But what if the wisdom you're waiting for is already within you? Buddhism teaches that awakening isn't given, it's uncovered. It's already here, buried under layers of doubt, fear, and conditioning. The job is not to find something new, it's to remove what is false and let your inner light shine through. So how do you do that? Start by trusting your inner compass. Sit in silence for even 5 minutes a day. Ask yourself not, what should I do, but what feels true right now. You'll be surprised how much clarity is already inside you when you give it space to speak. Take mindful action. Don't wait until you feel perfectly ready. That moment may never come. Take one small step toward your values today. Speak kindly when it's hard. Make the difficult call. Show up with honesty. Every act done in alignment with your deeper truth strengthens the flame inside you. And here's something most people forget. You don't have to be fearless to be your own light. You just have to show up, despite the fear. The candle does not fear the darkness. It exists because of the darkness. Be that candle. Even when the night feels long, even when you're uncertain, even when you failed before, light your own way. And as your light grows, others will find their way by it too. Not because you told them what to do, but because you showed them what's possible. So remember this, you are not broken. You are not lost. You are not too late. You are a flame waiting to rise. Be your own guiding light. The world needs it, and you deserve to see just how bright you can burn. Conclusion. Every lesson you've heard in this video, every insight, every shift in perception, carries one core message. You are not powerless. No matter how difficult life becomes, no matter how much fear or confusion clouds your path, you hold within you the tools to transform, awaken, and rise. Buddhism doesn't promise a life free from pain, but it offers something far greater: the freedom to grow through your pain, the strength to stand firm in your truth, and the clarity to walk forward even when the road is uncertain. You've learned how to reframe your struggles into stepping stones, how to cultivate faith in the face of fear, and how to become your own guiding light. But remember, knowledge alone changes nothing. It is action that transforms lives. So here's your invitation. Choose one practice from today's video. Just one. Maybe it's taking a moment of stillness before reacting. Maybe it's rewriting the story your fear is telling you. Maybe it's sitting quietly each morning and reminding yourself, I am the light I've been searching for. Live that practice. Breathe it. Walk it. Own it. Don't wait for life to get easier. Don't wait for approval or perfect timing. Begin now, with what you have, where you are. Because true power doesn't come from controlling the world around you. It comes from mastering the world within you. And as you move forward, carry this truth in your heart. Your struggle is not your weakness. It is your teacher. Your pain is not your punishment. It is your portal. Your doubt is not your end. It is your beginning. So rise, not with the heaviness of pressure, but with the quiet courage of someone who finally